You know, I just want to say sorry for taking so long to get a review out 4 months at a time. It's not going to happen again. I can guarantee that because things are looking up. I got a bunch of new consoles and I got a lot more new wrestling games. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. Peace! WCW is a wrestling game published by THQ and was released in early 1998 for the PlayStation. Now, WCW at the time was huge and it was doing better than the WWF. Still, WCW was great for us wrestling fans because the show itself was pretty awesome, and in many ways it actually prompted the Attitude Era. But I'm getting off topic. This game is actually a prequel to WCW NWO Thunder, which was released around a year later. If you may remember, over 2 years ago I reviewed...
Oh, fuck! Come on! Do something! Oh, the fuck! Oh, shit.
Loosely reviewed WCW NWO Thunder for the PlayStation, and to the surprise of a handful of people, I didn't really like it. Unlike Thunder, Nitro was released for 3 platforms, the PlayStation, the PC, and the Nintendo 64. Yeah, I knew Nitro was released on the PC, but I was kind of surprised to see it for the Nintendo 64. Now don't get me wrong, I like the Nintendo 64, but even I know the sheer crap factor that this game would bring to a console like the Nintendo 64, but I'll get to that later. Let's take a look at the PlayStation. This was actually the first of 3 platforms to be released. Looking at the case, this game actually looks pretty good. If nothing, at least they actually made the game look good. Too bad looks can be so deceiving. I mean, even the advertisement looks decent. Let's look at the actual game. Here's a typical PlayStation loading screen followed by an intro that consists of actual wrestling footage all spliced together to get you even more excited about the game. The menu looks okay, but it is very basic. Just start game and options. The options are fine. It's where you select the ring you want to wrestle in. It is a little weird to have that option there, but it is in fact an option. So you gotta start game, and this is perhaps where it gets a little disappointing. 5 modes to choose from. Yeah, 5 modes. Now while it does have a measly 5 modes, there are only 2 matches to play. That one being the one-on-one and the other as being a tag team. That's it. No cage, no weapons, no battle royal. I suppose they had to save something for the sequel. Alright, one-on-one. This brings you to the character selection screen. Right off the bat, there are 16 wrestlers to choose from. And there are many more to be unlocked. This actually does have a pretty good roster. There is a run button you can push in which there is a video of the wrestler that will appear and they will do a little rant. This is actually pretty cool. I mean, even if the green screen looks like crap. So once you choose your characters, you go straight to the gameplay, no entrances of any sort. The gameplay, now I've already touched upon this in Thunder, so I'm not going to go into extreme detail here. Hell, it's not like I do anyway, so... Nitro has the same problems that Thunder has. Now to be fair, in early 1998, the wrestlers don't actually look that bad. They don't look too horrible. They really don't. In fact, this game does give you that WCW Nitro atmosphere. I mean, what, with the flame background, the music, and hell, even the Mean Gene loading screen, and the arenas to a certain degree. I mean, this does not look like an arena though, it's more like a concert hall. Still, the wrestlers are the best looking thing this game has as far as graphic goes. And you know, it all just kind of goes downhill from there. The crowd in this game is the worst I have ever seen. I mean, it is just pixel blocks that do nothing at all. Only some of them kind of barely resemble people. Hell, look at this, it is just flat colors. Are you kidding me? The camera angle is weird as hell. I mean, it just keeps spinning around the ring. I know that fighting games did this at the time, games like Tekken, but at least Tekken had angle cuts when you did a special kind of move. This game doesn't have any angle cuts at all. Hell, sometimes it doesn't even spin around properly and you don't even see the move. The controls suck, to be honest. This is not a game that you just pick up and play apart from punching and kicking. Every move you do requires a button combo. Oh, you can try and mash the buttons, but it will mainly result in the CPU kicking your ass and you doing the same generic moves over and over again that barely do squat, and you have no idea how you're actually doing them. A lot of the sound effects are some of the worst as well. Those grunts, You know, actually everything about this game in terms of sound effects doesn't really come close to realistic. Well, except for the ring, I guess. It's actually very irritating to hear those grunts over and over again. The commentating is very basic. It's really repetitive. It basically just consists of, "It's a power bomb! Frankensteiner!" But I guess it's better than nothing, I suppose. The CPU is okay, but like Warzone, they keep blocking and dodging all the time. It gets very annoying, and wrestlers don't do that in real life. To unlock other wrestlers, you gotta play through tournament mode, which is nothing special. You play as a certain wrestler and you have to beat 10 opponents to unlock a new wrestler. Unlocking a mere 10 wrestlers, you have to play 100 matches. Not only play them, but you have to win them without fail. 100 matches of this shitty game. But no, there are more than 10 wrestlers to unlock. There's actually 48 other characters to unlock. And 16 of those characters are actual programmers for this game. I'm not kidding, unless you're willing to win 480 matches, it's just not gonna happen. Thankfully there are cheats to unlock everything, but I'll get to that later. Let's compare this to the PC version. The PC, like most PC things, was kind of a bitch to get working. This game doesn't run on a 64-bit PC. Thankfully I still have an old 32-bit Vista computer that runs perfectly. Never thought I'd be thankful for Vista. Right off the bat, this version graphically looks much better. I'm not sure when it was released. Some sources say late 1998, some say late 1999. You know, on first impressions, this game actually looks a lot like the PlayStation version. You got start, you got options, and I love how awkward that key configuration looks. There are more detailed options on the PC as to how you want the graphics to be, which is more typical of PC gaming. The PC does have more match options than the PlayStation version, but that is not saying much. In fact, the things they have added is network mode and battle royale. Character selection screen. Now it took me a few seconds, but I quickly realized that this roster is not the same roster from the PlayStation version. Still, does this look familiar to you? In case you don't know, this is actually the Thunder roster. I guess this game came out late and I didn't want to have the outdated PlayStation roster. The gameplay itself looks better in terms of graphics. I mean, they improved a fair bit on the crowd. They actually look like a crowd and they move. The graphics are definitely better. Just look at the characters compared to the PlayStation version. Unfortunately, the controls are just as bad as ever. In fact, playing this game on a keyboard is quite awkward, which I guess in a way makes the controls even worse than the PlayStation version. You know, it's actually good to see the Battle Royale mode simply due to the fact that this game severely lacks diversity in matches. Although the Battle Royale mode does in fact get boring quite quickly. Too bad there is no cage match, you know, like Thunder. Really, there's not much else to say about Nitro for the PC. It's about what I expected it to be honest. And I guess it's worth pointing out that the biggest problem that this game has is that it constantly kept crashing on me. I don't know if it's the fact that I was using a much more modern PC than this game was originally intended for, or if this is indeed a problem that happened back in '98 for PC users. Seriously, this problem made trying to capture footage a bitch. You know what? This is actually kind of like Pokemon. You know, Pokemon Red and Blue. Let me explain. You know, you had the red and the blue version for the Game Boy. Do you remember that? The catchphrase was, "Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon." Except you couldn't, not without both red and blue. You see, some Pokemon were not in red, and some Pokemon were not in blue. If you had the red version, then you needed to find someone that had the blue version, and get them to trade those missing Pokemon from their blue version to your red version, and vice versa. Now this was a problem for a lot of kids. Now I know what you may be thinking, what has this got to do with Nitro? And come to think about it, this doesn't have anything to do with Nitro. That's completely irrelevant. You know, let's take a look at the Nintendo 64. As I alluded earlier, well, more like blatantly said, this game does not go well with a console of this manner. Here's what I mean. The Nintendo 64 uses cartridges, and while there is nothing wrong with cartridges, they simply don't hold anywhere near as much as an information as a CD does. Which means you don't get any kind of video whatsoever. The intro videos, the ending videos, and the video runs are one of the coolest features that this game has. And the Nintendo 64 doesn't have any of that. I don't even know what to compare this to. It just has demonstration moves instead. While again the graphics look better than the PlayStation version, it doesn't really look as good as the PC version. So the Nintendo 64 version is kind of in the middle as far as graphics goes. This version actually runs faster too. I don't know why. You know, it is kind of strange to me how there is a version of Nitro that was released after Thunder. Yeah, a version of the prequel that was released after the sequel. I get that they want to milk money, but this is ridiculous. Anyway, I'm done with the Nintendo 64 version. If I say anything else, I will literally sound like a broken record. I say, if you really want to play this game for yourself and you have to choose between the three, I say fuck them all and play Thunder instead. Because at least Thunder had a cage and weapons. There is one thing I should mention. If you do have Nitro, I would seriously recommend cheating. Seriously. Just use cheats to unlock all the wrestlers. You'll know you've unlocked all the wrestlers with the cheats because this game starts tripping on acid when you put in the cheat. In fact, this game has quite a few cheats. Cheats are actually one of the best things about this game. It lets you unlock all sorts of crazy crap, like wrestling in an alien ship, or a beehive, Santa, grave, a psychedelic arena where I swear I was wrestling Brodus Clay. You can even do the YMCA dance in the disco arena. Just weird ass shit. Here's a little fact. You can actually put the Nitro CD in any old CD player like this one. And listen to the glorious in-game music. No, I'm just kidding, don't bother doing that. The music itself is shit. Why not have wrestlers themes, you know, and also include the NWO theme? You can hear that in the menu, so why not have it as a soundtrack? I mean, this game would have been so much better if they released it as a soundtrack as well. So in conclusion, this game has definitely earned its steaming pile of shit reputation. But you know what? Just not to be totally negative, despite the bad graphics, the bad animations, and limited, oh, so limited options, and the bad controls and the bad sound effects and the bad quality of those sound effects and the bad camera angles at times, and the sheer stiffness of this game, if you take the time to learn the controls and the moves and the combos, I suggest learning them in 2-player. There is a bit of fun to be had with this game. Seriously. But it does get old really quick. And you really gotta turn off your brain to all the bad aspects. Or the other kind of fun you can have is taking the piss out of it with your friends. Or simply beating the shit out of it with a sledgehammer. Either way's great. Would I recommend this game? Hell no. Just no. That is my take on it. This has been another one of my reviews. It is really hot right now. So thanks for watching. Peace.